Hi guys, and today we'll be looking at this West Country class, Hornby West Country class for the exchange trials. As you can tell, this has a STANIER tender on the back with the British Railway lettering. And this one is booed. Like I said, I think it's a West Country class, got that correct. This was a limited edition one when it first came out, and I do like the Merchant Navies, the West Country class and Battle of Britain classes. This one's from around 2000, which in my opinion is the best era or the best time for these sort of locomotives. But anyway, we'll get into it and see what they're all about and do them meet today's modern standards. So here goes. As we start for the detail bags, you do get quite a lot of detail here. Shovels, rakes, lamp irons and lamps too. Also you get code discs and white things. You also got some brake rigging that I've already added to the locomotive. We also get in the detail bag, we also get this, what Hornby don't do anymore. I think it's a DC jacket. I've never used them, but yeah, you used to get these back in the day. So you get that as well. And finally you get this certificate of 2008, and my number is 163. It's basically telling the history of the locomotive and why Hornby produced it, and it is signed by Simon Kohler there at the end. It's a great touch when Hornby do stuff like that, very nice. As we move on to the front of the locomotive, the buffer beam is detailed. I think it has some rivets on there as well. It also has a black hook, which is nice. It does have a NEM pocket connection for the coupling. Mine does stick up a little bit faulty I think, but it still works. We also have metal sprung buffers. These ones are a little bit stiff for me, but it doesn't really bother me. I'd prefer them not to be sprung, bring the price down if I'm honest with you. As we move up until the main area of this section, we do have the number of the loco in the Southern writing, sunshine writing I believe it's called, which is 34008, I think, or it could be 6. My eyesight's pretty poor. We also have some lamp irons and electric lights there as well, dotted around. There must be about 3 along the middle, bottom, 2 either side of the smack box door, and 1 at the top. We do have some detail parts in the bag for that, if you want to add extra stuff. We also have the Southern in a circle around the dart on the smack box door. It truly is a Southern front, that is, very much so. The dart itself is separately applied too. We have a lamp iron and a light at the top as well. Onto the side of the locomotive. Both sides to me look the same, if I'm honest with you, and this version anyway. But I know there is a few differences that I've spotted. Let's start off with the livery. The livery is in malachite green, I believe it is. Southern green. It does look nice. I do like Merchant Navies and Battle of Britain classes and West Countries in this livery. It does look nice. We do have some plastic piping under the cab. It is a nice touch. We also have the bullet style bogie at the end, I believe. It is nice. Moving along, we also have these massive smoke deflectors that are separately applied. They're quite bigger than the usual ones that I've seen on this type of locomotive. We also have the name of the locomotive, which is buoyed in the centre with its crest. That is separately applied, not hatched, but it's separately applied anyway. Very well printed. We also have the brake rigging, which was part of the detail bag that I already added. As we move round to the other side of the locomotive, like I said, it does look exactly the same as the other one. It is in this air smooth casing, not streamlined. Below the cab, we do have the number, which is 34006. We also have some extra different style piping as well under there, which is nice. Hornby have gone to the trouble of doing that. We also have some wood effect style windows that slide, I think. I'm not too sure myself, but they do look like they do, and they are glazed, and it is nice. We also have the bullet motion and wheels, typical of bullet style. Very American, but it is nice. They have done it correct, I think. Very nice. Delivery is perfectly applied, if you ask me, but I'm no expert. It looks the part. As we move on to the part that everyone looks forward to, I believe, which is the cab and how well detailed it is. This one, saying it's quite an old locomotive, is extremely detailed. Most things in there are painted. I wonder if you can see through the crew that I've added. They are there, everything is painted. The cab is glazed as well. Even the little windows this side are glazed with a handrail. That is there too. You also see the connector. It's the old fashioned one where you just slot it in with the copper strips. That is there too. As we move along to the tender itself, pretty basic, pretty plain. It has handrails, yes. It also has the pole to connect to the loco, which is typical of Hornby back in that day. Most things in there are moulded. The chute has no coal, but most things are moulded, like the cupboards and the doors and all that sort of stuff for the firemen. It's all there, just not moulded. We also have buffers on the tender too. As we move on to the side of the tender, it does have handrails either side of the tender, at the front and the back. They are metal and they are separately applied. We also have a black tender, as you can tell, with the British Railways writing on it. This is actually a STANIER tender. The actual boxes and steps are moulded together. It's one big fit by the looks of it, but we do have metal wheels. Onto the back of the tender. We'll start with the small tension lock coupling that it has. It also has a vacuum pipe already fitted. Also have a hook as well. We have the buffers, which are sprung and metal. The buffers are in red, which is nice. So is the housing. As you move up a little bit more, we have 6 lots of steps, or 2 lots of 3, on the cab to help people get up and down, to do the watering and coal and stuff like that. We also have 2 plaques. I think one is the water capacity and the other one, I'm not sure, I think it could be the type of tender. They are legible at zoomed in, I believe. I've not tried, but they do look the part. It's quite a basic tender, but it is nice. As we do a bird's eye view of the tender itself, we do have the water cap for the water. We also have 2 air gaps, I believe, as well, and a sort of dome there as well. I'm not sure what they are. Also along with some rivets. It is nice. Hornby have modified the coal load on this. I believe it was an old-fashioned one, chunky coal, but this one isn't too bad. It's quite nice. Slopes as well. As we move on to the bird's eye view of top of the locomotive, there is a lot of rivets on this locomotive on the top. It is very nice that Hornby have done that. It's quite interesting actually. Around the cab area, we do have a vent which doesn't move, but it's there. We also have some rivets and some washout plugs by the looks of it. We also have a whistle and safety valves as well. Nice of Hornby to do it correctly, I believe. We also have a welded in sort of dome next to them. As you can see, the smoke deflectors are separately applied. It does look nice. Onto the chimney area itself, you can see all the way down. It is nice. You could put a smoke unit in there if you wanted to, and it does slope in the centre as well. As we look at the underneath of the chassis, pretty basic down here, but it's easy as well, if you know what I mean. We do have 3 or 4 screws to undo to get to the base plate. Both pony trucks do swivel. It is nice when Hornby do that. So the stiff one they've got now at the back. We also see a cog or a gear, so you can lubricate it if you need to. It is nice to touch there. The wheels have pickups. It's 6 driving wheels that I believe have the pickup, which is nice. Could even be the rear pony truck as well. As we move on to the tender, the connection to the tender and loco is the old-fashioned one where you just slot it through a hole with some copper strips. It seems to do the job, and I'm a big fan of this. It's easy to look after the loco if you need to separate them, but the plug's also good as well. I do believe the first and last lot of wheels do have pickups. It's hard to tell, but I think they do have pickups. We also have the brake rigging applied, and I also believe you can get to maintain them with the screws that are there as well if you wanted to maintain the wheels or add sound. So next up will be the usual second radius and point test. The bogie truck at the underneath the cab does swing on this one. It's not fixed like the modern day one, so let's find out how well it can do or not, shall we? Not too bad actually. Make that what, 22 for DC in a pretty old tooled locomotive. It's pretty nice actually. So yeah, it managed that pretty well, what I expect from a loco of the early 2000s, China-made Hornby stuff. I expect that sort of thing. Did it pretty well. I'm quite impressed. So next up will be a slow speed. Then I'll wind it a train and I'll see you at the end. So here it goes. That smooth. Struggling a little bit. We're talking there 20. Let's turn it off, it's struggling. But yeah, that's not bad. 20, 25. Seems to run okay, smooth as well. So yeah guys, that's the end of the running session. Before I give you my opinion, I'll show you sort of what it ran with. So we had the newly tooled Hornby funeral baggage car for Sir Winston Churchill. Then we had some Bachmann bullied coaches. And then at the back we've got just some Southern coaches. I'm not sure which they are, but the Southern coaches in green and the Hornby made. Haven't got that many Southern coaches though, it's the best I can do. For me, this locomotive or this era of Hornby products is probably one of the best that Hornby have ever done, in my opinion. Like I said, the early 2000s when they first moved over to China and put the motor back in the loco. They're fantastic models, from this to the A4s and even tender driven A3s that I've got a few of them. They're quite nice, smooth runners, nothing wrong with these. You can still pick these up second hand. Occasionally they come up new in shops and eBay. Not quite sure what the going price is for. I think I paid £85 new for mine, I think. Yeah, I know the front coupling is up in the air. There's nothing I can do about that. But personally me, this ticks all the boxes for me. Maybe one day Hornby may put it in their current tooling one that they've got out, which would look nice actually. But yeah, for me these are a must for any Southern fan. Even the transitional period to BR, they're there. I just wish they would have done the other trial ones when the others went down to other regions. I think there's an A4. I'm not sure about any others, but they were there. It's in their history. Just wish Hornby would have gone down that route, but hey, still nice. It does look a bit odd, but still nice. Highly recommend these. So anyway guys, hope you enjoyed the video. Please take care and goodbye.